Hey everyone, welcome to a Tuesday Newsday of the best variety because Dream is no longer here. It's just me and Steamy Sinzar. Hey Sinzar.
Oh no, Dream is going to hear this later.
I'm sorry, Dream. I did not mean that. Okay, please do not hit me. Like Dream. I love you. Okay. All right. So I've opened the news already, prepared. Oh shit, that's a Sinzar video. I'm gonna. Wait, that's not what I'm gonna be looking at. Okay. So we were just talking before the episode. The fuck is Dragon Quest Dai?
Yeah, I don't know. It's I thought it was like a video game, but it seems to be more of like an anime series and not a video game. So I guess I don't know.
So is it based like? Because we were saying I like some of the Dragon Quest games, and I think 11 was a masterpiece. But I haven't heard of a game. Maybe this is like an anime based on one of the older Dragon Quests. I don't know if, honestly what it is. It has a very specific and maybe a bit different design too. So Chad
Yeah.
is saying, I hear it was a manga. Okay, we have the rumor mill is going on. Nobody knows what Dragon Quest Dai is. All right, that's off to a great start. So I'm assuming that nobody is hyped for this, right?
I'm not hyped for it. That being said, we are getting some free pulls, and if I landed one of them from the free pulls, I wouldn't be sad about it because the units are either usable or they come with good STMRs and TMRs. So.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the units myself. I was just more saying, like nobody is looking forward to this banner because they are huge fans of the series or something like that. So yeah.
Oh, as far as being a fan, not specifically for me, no.
It doesn't seem like a thing that's big in GL as well. Like I might have seen like an anime on Crunchyroll or whatever, or an ad somewhere for an anime of like for this. So I don't know. Okay, but let's get into it. So we're actually getting 3 units. So first of all, these are limited, right? Like this is a limited collab.
Yes, correct.
So 3 units. We are getting Hero Dai. So Dai is apparently a name of the protagonist. That's good to know. We're getting Martial Artist Ma'am. Mom? Well, how would you pronounce that, Cesar?
Say mom.
Mom. Okay, mom.
Or
like non-bread, but mom bread. Okay.
Or ma'am works too. You pick.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I was missing the apostrophe, so I was thinking like, is this a play on like martial artist ma'am? Or is it mom as, yeah, I don't know. Or is it ma'am, like mom as in like mother, mommy? I don't know.
Let's just say ma'am.
Let's just say ma'am. Okay. And then we have Mage Pop. So 3 units, and all of them are NVs, right? NV bases.
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. Interesting. And there's a 4%. Is this new? Has it always been 4% on the entire step up? 4% NV rate?
I didn't even notice that in the news. If so, then as far as I'm aware, yes, that would be new.
It says 4% rate for NV units, because I do know that we got higher rates later in the step up, but that was more higher rates for on banner units, right? Not for actual NV rates.
Yes. So these, I don't think this is locked to these. No, this not locked because it says featured unit. Okay. Yeah. So it seems to be. So it's okay. So what it probably is it's 1% rate per unit, and then 1% off banner if you get a red.
Yeah, but then it says 2%, like when you get to step 3, it's 2% for each featured NV unit. Okay, that doesn't make fucking sense because it's 4% rate. So there are 3 units. Like, does the rate jump to 6% from step 3?
I don't think so.
That's really weird, actually.
Usually collabs do have a higher rate.
Yeah. Yeah, we seem to be getting shards for free too. So like it's definitely like, since it's limited, it's easier, I guess, to get the units higher. But yeah. Okay, you know what? We're gonna know when the banner is live. So let's talk about the units. First of all, we have Hero Dai, who shifts into Dragon Knight Dai, and this is a trans shift, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, it's limited duration.
And he seems to be a straightforward physical DPS, right?
Pretty much. He's basically sort of kind of the lightning version of Cog, but a little bit weaker.
Okay.
Yeah, because Cog was buffed on global, Cog with types as STMR, we're talking high end, has a 450x modifier. Dai has a 400x modifier, so it's 50 lower. But versus demons, it's 450. So on demons, he's equal to Cog. On everything else, he's a decent chunk weaker.
Yeah, I mean, like 400 is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, it's still a
Oh,
very strong LB.
it's still very high for Dark Vision's content.
But
Absolutely,
he is element locked, right? Like he is lightning locked.
Yes, he is locked to lightning.
All right, okay. So interesting unit. DPS has a nice sword as STMR and seems to have a decent TMR too. Yeah, like as you kind of said, you won't be super sad if you just pull one of these units because some of these TMRs and STMRs are actually pretty decent. And let's talk about the card because like you won't be sad getting fucking Dai, right?
Yeah, I was actually talking when I said you'd be happy to get either the unit or the TMR, STMR. This is the one where you'd be happy to get the unit itself. The unit is good.
Yeah. I mean, the card is really good too, right?
Yeah, his card's actually pretty good as well. It is.
Because so the card has it's a 120 flat magic or base magic and attack, which is nice. Like it's a non-premium card, and I think the only other non-premium one that's this high or higher is Lara, right? But Lara was limited, so
for non-premiums, yeah, I think Lara is the only non-premium this high.
Yeah, exactly. So that's nice too. But yeah, good unit. So let's move on. Mage Pop is the next one in my list, and this is an SLB. Fuck me, I hate S. Can we just stop? Can we just forget that SLB ever existed and just move the fuck on with our lives? Wouldn't that be great?
So this is the unit where I was talking about. If you happen to get him from the free polls, you'd be happy because of the TMR and STMR. You're never going to use the unit.
Oh shit! He has a two-handed rod. All right.
And this one is non-elemental, so it will not lock your like Angela or Roberta to an element. So,
hey, Sinzar, do you know who else has a two-handed rod?
Shui, but it's not as good. It's a little bit weaker.
I was talking about penises.
Oh jeez.
all right, but I mean, this is really good, right? Like it's non-elemental, two-handed, high magic, has some killers on it even. So this is amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. And then the TMR is also exceptionally good. It's an accessory with 60 magic, and it gives 75% double hand to magic, which is a weird number, and it would be great if it was 100, but it's better than 50. And you can do 2 of these, and you can get 150 true double hand to magic, and that's really relevant because we're moving into the era of two-handed everything.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be forcing double hand on units with 0 passives. So like Roberta, Renoa, every other mage on the planet.
Terra, you're forgetting Terra.
Yeah, you're gonna be forcing double hand on all of them, and getting 150 double hand from the accessory, both accessory slots, is really good.
Absolutely. That's a really good point, actually. This is one of those kind of like Cloud STMR that's going to make gearing these non-TDH units TDH, because we're definitely, I mean, who doesn't want 50% extra damage on their units, right? We just, so yeah, like this is a cool, and I mean, he has actually a cool sprite. I kind of like his sprite. So, but what is his power though? Like, is he gonna be a relevant mage? Like, how would he stack up?
Not at all. So, okay, so you spend like 5 turns setting him up, including his SLB. All of this for a modifier boost to a 1-hit finisher that is magical and locked to double element, fire and ice.
Oof.
It has a 2200x modifier, which is not even that high. And that's his whole kit, basically.
Okay.
This is a unit you do not use. You get the TMR, the STMR, you put them in the vault.
I mean, you just had me at the big setup already. Like, I feel like I wouldn't bring this unit for that alone. And dual element, oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I'm not so sure about this. But fantastic STMR. Like, you get one of these, you're fucking happy, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right. And then finally, so we have martial artist Ma'am, and somebody was saying in Discord earlier that Mam would pair up with Zon really well. Why is that?
Ma'am on her SLB, or is it LB? I think it's actually SLB. It's SLB. Yeah, it's 250 killer buff to herself only, and it's for like 7 or 8 races. It's a lot of races. It's most, not all of them, but
shit.
most races. It's 250 killers. So Zon could steal that and spread that to the entire party. Now, is that worth a party slot to bring Zon? That completely depends on the fight. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't be.
Right. But how would she perform? Like, would she be a dead slot as well, or would she actually do some damage?
Well, she's a light locked LB unit. So, but she does have a 330x baseline modifier. So that's 360 with Typhus' Spirit. So that's actually decent, compared to Cog.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a lot worse, but it's respectable. So
yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a dead slot. I wouldn't call it dead slot. She's like clocking in a bit lower than like the very top, but
yeah,
but she's like also giving 250% killer buffs to your entire party, which can mean a lot.
To herself, if Zon's giving it to the party.
Yeah. But I mean, you're bringing Zon, right?
Yeah.
And that could potentially be somewhere around a 50% damage increase for everyone else, which might mean that it's worth. Well, okay, now I'm exaggerating because obviously you would have had something else instead. You would have had 150 probably, but yeah.
Now, one thing to keep in mind if we're talking about this whole scenario, that's on her SLB. So even best case scenario, if you EX3 her, that means you wouldn't be able to do your burst turn until turn 6 because you got to get her SLB, use it. Zon's got to steal it. Then it's got to recharge again to be used again. So that would be a turn 6 at the earliest at EX3.
Right. Okay, I get it. So that also means that, and I guess she doesn't have any reasonable damage in her kit. If you had to burst before turn 6, you had to basically use the LB.
I mean, she's got like the 70x chaining that every unit in the game has. So basically no.
I didn't mean to talk about Freyavia. I just love the unit so much, but that's something that I've really discovered I enjoy about Freyavia, where, of course her LB hits harder, but if you really, really have to burst before her LB would be up for some reason, her chaining isn't that far behind, right? I would like to see more units like that, honestly, because that does so much.
In Clash of Wills, both her and Kaito are similar. Their LBs are usually better with full setup, but the chaining they can do is very, very close, and it's not that big of a loss if you have to just chain.
Yeah.
I don't know what Freyavia's chaining is without the morale. I haven't really.
I don't remember either. I just know morale mods are almost as good as her LB. Like, yeah sure, LB with full support is gonna clock in higher, but otherwise close. That's a shame. Because like this could have been one of those. Although I guess like maybe there's a scenario where you could just bring her as a chaining support together with Zon, and the only thing she does is buffs killers. Like there could be a scenario where that's even worth it, because sometimes, like we were talking about it just the other day, where for this cow, for instance, there are only 2 reasonable sources of fairy killer, right? And if you're one of those scenarios, then maybe it makes sense to bring someone like Mam. I don't know. Her STMR is very specific, though. I don't know if we're going to be using this that much, though. Although I guess it's a 2-handed fist with high attack, so that's nice.
It's a 2-handed fist. It's way better than Igon's fist, which is the only other good 2-handed fist. So if you're still using Tifa or Carton, it's a nice item. I wouldn't chase her just for that, just because like Tifa and Carton, are still useful. They're still used every now and then, but for the most part, they're a little power crept.
Yeah. And her TMR is kind of the mirror of Pop's TMR, where her TMR is also a high attack TMR, but with TDH for attack, right?
Now, yes, but the exception is both Dai and Mam's TMR. Theirs are locked to very specific weapons, whereas Pop's is universal.
I see. Hammer, gun, or fist. Okay. Yeah. So that would help, like, when you need to make somebody dual wield a gun, I guess. But okay, I see it.
Well, it's double hand.
Yeah, sorry, double hand. Although hammers are, of course, very much a dead weapon for us right now, and I guess fist is fine. So for Tifa, right? Like her STMR and these 2 are nice for Tifa.
Yes.
Although
Well,
Tifa really wants her STMR. So
yeah,
yeah.
Tifa's accessory slots are spoken for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, but interesting. I mean, like you can't really say any of the units are worthless. Like Pop, sure, hard to use unit, but has amazing STMR and TMR. Mam can definitely see use. Dai can see use. Dai is strong, like by any meaning of the word, strong. Maybe not cog strong, but close. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're like a player that doesn't really care about any of the three, and you just like are desperate to pull for a unit, the one I would go for is definitely Die.
yeah, but can you decide? Like it seems like it's just a banner step up with all three and
Well, if you go to pity, the pity is your choice.
oh yeah, there are people that actually go to pity that have the resources to do that. I keep forgetting that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. No, but good banner. Like there's nothing really dead on this banner. It's interesting. And hey, if you're a Dragon Quest Dai fan, whatever the fuck that is, hey, feel free to tell us in the comments. Might this might be your banner that you've been waiting for a while.
The reason people, for the most part, are hyped about this collaboration is part two. Part two was a Vision World, and Vision World usually
Oh,
a lot of hype. Yeah,
and
that
so we
will.
are getting more Dai units in part 2 then.
Yes, there's actually 6 units for Die. The first 3 came on the first week, and then the second week had the other 3, and that was Vision World. Actually, there's 7 units because there's Crocodine as well, and he's coming this week too.
Oh, interesting. Well, first of all, I really like Vision Worlds, so that's going to be fun. Let's hope that one of my dailies nets me one of these units. They seem fun. I'd like to use them. Well, everyone except Pop. Fuck him, because that setup sounds horrible. But anyone else is. And now what's going to happen is I'm going to get that fucker, but at least it's a good STMR.
Honestly, completely honestly speaking, if I was going to get a random off banner, I think Pop would be my happiest just for the long term value. Like Die's good right now, but power creep moves on. Gear creep moves a lot slower than unit creep.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And that rod is looking really juicy for mages, like really, really juicy. So yeah.
The rod and the TMR.
Yeah, and the TMR for sure, for sure. Yeah. All right. So we're also getting an event. We're getting a raid, right? Decisive battle at Sovereign Rock Castle, which seems to be like a rock version of Alexander or some shit. I guess it's just a raid, right? Not much to say. We're getting a dagger and some other stuff.
It's a raid. It's got some random equipment on it. The killers are okay.
Yeah, I would say this armor is good, but it has no attack stats on it. It's just 80 defense and then 50% LB.
Well, the armor is for Crocodine. You haven't gotten to him yet. That's the other unit coming this week. He is a defense scaling LB user, so it makes sense for him.
Yeah, I would say like maybe you equip this on your fledgling warrior, but you don't because he's equipping his own STMR. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, a raid. We're also getting a EX battle, right? Something like it. A mystery crystal battle, it seems.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Versus the Mistfjorn. As far as the battle itself, I mean, EX battles for the most part are pretty simple these days. You take your favorite premium and support, and you finish it in 1 or 2 turns.
Right.
And that's basically it.
It seems like, and there are some fat parameter boosts to like if you got Kaido, I guess this event is fucking free because he's gonna get 300% boost to all parameters in this event. And it's not locked, right? Like, so you can still bring whoever you want. It's just that these units get a bit more. So it's like it's Kaido and Fledgling Warrior, of course Venera also and Mont and shit, but like they're not doing damage. So yeah, I guess people that pulled Kaito or Dai are gonna have an easy time here.
But the big thing from that is the vision card, the power cut card on that news. You see it?
Right. So it's a vision card with HP. And 110 to, whoa, okay. Wait, hold on. Am I reading this right?
Yes, 110 to all stats and 3,000 base HP.
Wow.
I use this card non-stop on the JP server. Every single trial that came out after this event, this card is on my tank 100% of the times.
Wow, but I mean, it's amazing. 3,000 base HP and 110 defense or, well, I mean, all stats, but defense and spirit. This is fantastic.
And if you need to like bulk up your DPS, that just gears relatively. That's kind of a double-edged sword. If the unit gears easily to be able to use this card, then they can gear easily for bulk anyway. So
Yeah. Exactly. But still, I mean, wow, what an amazing card. And we're getting this just by completing the quest.
yeah.
And then also if you're also doing the clear within 10 turns and no continues, you're getting 3k lapis and a mystery crystal. That's gonna be interesting. I wonder who I'm gonna bring. I want to bring something interesting here. Maybe I'll do a Freyevia clear actually. Just 2 Freyevias or something.
That'd be cool.
Well, have some fun with the game, you know, like it's important, and having fun with the game is definitely going to be part of my rant, as I'm going to make the entire community hate me towards the end of this episode. But let's get there when we get there. Let's cross that bridge when we get there, is the saying. And what else? There's a character battle. What is that?
Oh, that's just each day on JP, there's a daily quest that refreshes. And when you go into it, like all the Dragon Quest units ambush your party and attack you, and then you kill them. It's basically like a flashier daily battle. You kill it for currency.
Okay. It's one of those. All right, but we're getting some extra. Do you know how many shards we're getting for free in this event?
For Crocodine, you get EX3 all the way for free. As far as the other units, JP always gives out way more shards than Global, so that I have no idea on Global. On JP, you got all the units to EX1 for free.
Oh, at least the X1. All right. Well, maybe we get the same. I mean, I think that doesn't sound too unreasonable given that it's a limited collab and stuff like that. So EX1 should be something that's given to us, I want to say. Should we say something about this new bundle? There's this new gear we can buy, Virtuous Vestment. Is it good? Seems weird. Has high attack.
Yeah, I looked at that. I was like, I don't know. It depends on the price for me. Like, it's definitely a good piece of gear. I'd like to have it. But unlike the Paws of Prosperity bundle, which was 5k for a unique accessory, and that I feel was definitely worth it. No regrets buying that bundle. This bundle is not unique at all. Like, it's a nice chest piece, either clothing or robe. You're not really sure which one it is. But yeah, we're going to be getting a lot of good chess piece. We've already got the Clash of Wills chess piece competing.
Yeah.
We're getting Titus's chess piece pretty soon. Roos's chess piece pretty soon. Like, this is going to be a hard sell depending on the price. If it's exceptionally cheap, okay. If it's 5k, probably not for me at least.
All right. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's really nothing exceptional about it, right? Like, yes, it has higher attack than Sephiroth's SDMR, right? It clocks in at 92. That's good. But there's nothing else really. Like, sure, there are some ailment resistances there, but nothing else calling to me, honestly.
Yeah, the big thing for me is it's nothing unique. It's just another piece of gear.
Yeah.
And the Paws of Prosperity, that was very unique. Bought that immediately. This one, eh.
Yeah, no uniqueness. No, I hear what you're saying. I fully agree. All right, quite an exciting week then. Like, good units. We're getting Vision World next week as well. Free 3k lapis in the Mist VR fight. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice. So yeah, I kind of promised a rant, Sensor, and I really want to hear how you feel about this too, because there's been something that has been really grinding my nuts lately. All right, and like in the bad way, like not in the like step on me with high heels type way. So it's Rizer, right? Like I think that Rizer was a really fun meme unit, designed to be this cool unit that gets a really high attack buff and unleashes a normal attack to get an attack in. But of course, we know how the story goes. On GL, we have fucking Bulwark that increases his damage by 15 times.
Yeah.
And that leads to the fact that right now we're in a scenario where Rizer outperforms everything alone that isn't super whaled. And sorry, before you start, well, like not alone, of course, you always need Bulwark and you need chainer supports and so on, but or counter chainer supports. But what I feel like it's doing, it's killing any incentive to enjoy your units for me. Like, just to I don't know, and maybe my numbers here are way off, so maybe you can challenge me here, Senzar. But just to give an example of previous DV, my team that I had geared really well, optimized thanks to you, Senzar, a lot. I think I clocked in at 6 billion or something like that for last DV, whereas like Rizer clears were going for 9 to 12 billion. And I spent
Yeah.
a lot of time optimizing my team, gearing it. Like I don't have shit gear. I'm a veteran player. I've played this game since release, so I have really good gear, and I used to spend a lot of money in the game as well. So I have I have good gear, and I have good units. I have EX3 units in this clear. So like why? Like why does this unit shit on proper clears? It's something needs to be done. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I'm kind of like mixed opinions on Riser. On the one hand, like I'm fine with players, having a unit, having fun with it, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
I'm not
but
arguing that. I think Riser is super fun. My problem is the power level.
yeah, on the other hand, like I'll give you a very personal example for me that just happened to me like last night. It's kind of it better illustrates for other people maybe exactly what you're feeling. Okay, so for the past few days, I've been making various rank one video guides for the Clash of Whales. So I've done rank one full modifier, 300%, all scoring. With I'm up to 4 different teams that have done it, and it's hard work. It's hard to pull off. This Clash of Whales isn't super hard, but it's still a little challenging to get a
For
rank one
sure.
clear.
Gearing,
So
planning, of course.
yeah, so last night I did another one that people were requesting. I didn't use Sky or Kresnik or Chow, and that one was pretty hard to pull off. That one definitely took some work and some problem solving. So I finally figured it out. After a bunch of work, I got it. I was excited. I was happy. I posted in the Clash of Wills chat, and I figured out another way to rank one for you guys that don't have Sky. That's what a common request was. And immediately and the guy that said this, he was absolutely not trying to be spiteful. He was not trying to be rude. It's just his comment was, "Why don't you just cap with Rizer?"
Right.
And it's like, I mean, sure, it's a valid point. Like I spent 3 hours problem solving, going like high end gear, EX3 units and all, and it took a long time to figure out. It was a lot of work. I was happy I did it, and it's like, well, why didn't you just use the free unit to just trivial cap? And
Yeah.
it's that really like takes the wind out of your sails of having fun with it. Like, yeah, it's like someone else using a riser doesn't really take away from my fun that I figured out a hard clear. But just the fact that he does exist is overall like a bad thing for the game. Now that
For
being
sure.
said, the counterpoint is now what about players that are free to play and don't have a full EX3 team loaded down with STMRs,
Yeah, they
which is
shouldn't be
what
capping like whales. That's the entire point of a gacha. Like that's the entire fucking point. A free to play player that just got Riser shouldn't be capping as a whale. I'm sorry, that's how the game works. And I mean, not even for whales. You should be rewarded for grinding your units up to higher EX level. Even if you're free to play, you saved up 60k lapis. You're going for EX3 for this unit, right? Why should this free fucking unit shit on your unit? Like you went so hard in for this unit, and you're still getting destroyed by this fun unit. And I don't agree with you when you said something. You just said, you said that it doesn't take away the fun for you, like that somebody else is doing a riser clear that's better than yours. And I fully respect if that's how you feel. I don't feel that way. I actually feel it's taking away my fun. I'm investing in my units. I care a lot about my units. I want to use units that I think are fun, that I think are good. Being viable is still important to me, so I always bring strong units. But it does take away from my fun knowing that someone else is capping at twice my fucking damage with a lot less effort. And here I am, really investing in the game. So what is the game doing? Like it's not giving me any reward for my clear at all. And
yeah.
that really takes away from me.
Yeah, now for Dark Visions, I think it is a significantly bigger problem. Now on Clash of Wills, at least a capable Clash of Wills, like the Riser clear isn't pushing you down. You're just sharing that rank one slot. Maybe the Riser guy got it with less effort, less investment,
Sure.
but you're just sharing rank one. Now in Dark Visions last week or whatever, the Riser clear, like you mentioned, was literally harming your clear because the Riser clear was scoring so much higher than your, your normal clear, so to call it.
Yeah, you wanted to say pleb clear. It's okay. It's okay.
well, you did lose rank as a result of Rizer being too strong. Now, of course, the argument is you could just use Rizer yourself.
Yeah, but I don't want to. That's the whole point. And I don't think that's a healthy argument, right? Like, Rizer is going against the point of this game. The point of this game is gathering powerful units, and you gather units for various reasons, right? Like, I gather them for what I like. Some others gather them for meta only. Both of those are fully valid. But the point of the game is still the units you gather, you make them stronger through investing in EX levels, in gear, in other support units, and Rizer invalidates all of that. Like, there's no point in like, either you go mega whale or you just clear with Rizer if you're just out for results. And that's definitely hurting. I honestly, I think Rizer is hurting the bottom line of the game. Like, if Gumi, I think, are looking at this and going like, okay, Rizer is costing us revenue because, why would you pull for Dai? Like, you can just use Rizer, right?
Assume that, and it's super easy to shut Rizer down without directly. See, the thing with gacha games
is it though? Because like Rizer shat on my entire team in two ways on the previous DV.
No. What I'm saying is it's easy for Gumi to shut Rizer down without actually nerfing the unit. Like, there's 1,000 ways you can do it through the fight itself. For example, just give the boss elemental absorption against the wrong elements. Boom. The whole reason Rizer works is because you can cap a chain with one hit with a counter with Poppy's STMR. If the boss is absorbing 6 out of 8 elements, you can't use Poppy's STMR. You can't cap the counter chain. You can't use Rizer. Right. It is so easy to shut down Rizer if they want to. It is. There's plenty other ways to do it too.
And you also mentioned like you can just like die. A dude would die to a sneeze. So like just a small fixed attack would also solve this problem, right?
Yes.
Or at least, make it much harder to use him so that you really have to. Although I really don't want to support Rizer. Like people have to realize that Rizer was supposed to do 15 times less damage than he's doing today. That's the problem, right? Like, Rizer was a decent damage unit that was fun to use, but he's doing 15 times the fucking damage, all right? Like, that's such a huge number. I'm not even afraid of the nerf. Like, who the fuck is gonna complain if Bulwark's ability goes from 15x to 1x? Like, who can say that they pulled Bulwark just because that ability was 15x on counters instead of 1? Nobody, because Rizer didn't fucking exist back then. So there's literally no counterclaim to this. Nobody was using that ability before Rizer. That ability can easily be nerfed to 1x and we're done. Like, Rizer is fully normal. Like, honestly, I just don't know why they don't do that. Like, they should just get some fucking cojones, some fucking balls, and do this. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know you're against, like, nerfing in gachas is dangerous. You can't, but is it really a nerf? Can you call that a nerf? Can you call Bulwark's fucking counter skill being 1x instead of 15 a nerf?
Well, I mean, you just lowered the power of a unit's ability by 15 times. That is the definition of a nerf. Now, how relevant is that nerf to anything outside of Rizer? Well, it's not.
But that's my exact point, because Rizer was free, right? So nobody can claim I want my money back because Rizer was free anyway. They just nerfed a free unit that is doing harm to the game. Can anyone claim that, but I was using this counter ability all the time with Bulwark? I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it'd be much cleaner to fix the problem through mechanics itself.
Yeah, I just feel like that takes more work, and we know how Gumi is about stuff that takes more work. Like, they don't do it. So I don't know. I mean, like last DV, they also tried to fix this by adding this fucking LB field, and the only thing that did was make it so I could bring less units to this fight, and Rizer still fucking out DPS'd my units by a factor of 2. So, fuck you. Like, it was a double fuck you to me thanks to Rizer, okay? That's so weird.
Oh, well, I guess just for the little cherry on top, the what's it called? The Dragon Quest Vision World has the LB field again, so enjoy. Or it did in JP.
God damn it.
I don't know if Global will copy it over again, but
yeah, let's see. I would hope it doesn't, because I really want to, enjoy using like Roberta, Graf, and other units that are not LB focused. But yeah, I mean, I know also that like the previous LB field wasn't specifically maybe against Rizer, even though it felt like it. because JP has had these type of LB fields for a while. But it was our first one, and I really felt like it was a way to try to make Rizer less relevant, and it didn't even come close. So yeah. I don't know. That was, I'm not going to rant too much. This episode is too long anyway, but I just wanted to get that off my chest because this has really been hurting my enjoyment in the game, honestly. Like watching these Rizer clears clock in is just ridiculous compared to the amount of effort I put into my units. And I don't talk about effort as in gearing. I understand that gearing a Rizer team and planning that takes time too. I'm talking about the effort I've put into my units. Like, investing into them to EX3, getting the gear for them. Half of that falls away when you're doing a Rizer clear, because Rizer is basically 5 supports and 1 Rizer. Like that's what you do. Yeah, Resnut, somebody make a Reddit post. Yeah, maybe I should make a Reddit post. Although I don't think I will, because like this is gonna garner so much hate, because I know people absolutely adore Rizer. I know that. Like people love Rizer. People love the fact that they've gotten this power level and that they can now compete with whales. I get it. You're getting free rewards, but I think people will soon start seeing that it's harmful to the game as a whole. Yes, I could use Rizer. I have all the gear. I can do a Rizer clear. Like I have all the gear, but I think it's harming the game as a whole. And that's my big issue.
I personally don't really like Rizer either. I'm talking about just the act of using them. Like people have asked me, where's your Rizer videos for the current event? Like I don't make them because I don't like. It's not fun for me. It's not that I'm morally opposed to Rizer. I do not enjoy that kind of clear. It's very, very gimmicky. I did one Rizer video just to demonstrate for people how to use him, and that was cool and all. It's a cool gimmick. It was a cool hey, this is neat and new, but like. I have fun problem solving the fight itself, not how can I cheese the fight.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I agree. I fully agree. And you know what the thing is? If they nerfed Bulwark's counter ability, Rizer would still be like one of those units you could actually bring to DV as one of your DPS if you're a free-to-play player, because Rizer would still do okay damage. He just wouldn't do twice the damage of a well-geared team, Like he would still do decent damage.
Oh, you mean like using a Rizer like the quote unquote proper way? Yeah, exactly. He does something like 80% of a high end Titus.
Yeah,
which is
that's still. I mean, for a free to play player, that's. I mean, if you look at it that way, this is exactly what they wanted to do with Rizer as a unit, right? They were giving free to play players a really good way to compete without having all of these legacy units or the newest units. But what unfortunately happened is just this shitfest because Bulwark existed and nobody saw it coming. Well, except Dream. She did, but yeah, like nobody made a Reddit post. Maybe we should have had Meme Lord make a Reddit post before Rizer's release, and maybe they would have done something.
And just to clarify for people, when I say about 80% of Titus, I mean star player Titus, the New Visions Awakening.
Yeah,
I know people are
not the Mega Titus that's about to hit us.
Yeah, he's not 80% of that.
Yeah, no, that would be fucking crazy. No, but I mean, it's like we were talking. I mean, me and Dream, we were talking about it in the podcast, saying like, "Hey, this is going to be a decent unit for people that don't have like a full roster of fully stacked DPS units." And so Rizer would still be relevant, just not like, "Hello, you now have a whale team. Good luck." I mean, it's devaluing whales' value of the game. It's devaluing my value of the game. It's making pulling less interesting. Like if you're a Rizer person, then the only thing you care about is like, well, nothing really. Like I guess maybe if there's some specific support you would need that make Rizer clears even easier, please Gooby, do not create that unit. Like, please.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the thing with Rizer is you literally don't need gear. Like his gear is a bunch of event stuff and some like 3-star TMRs. Like Rizer doesn't use gear. Your support units don't use gear. So you do still need the EX levels and the supports themselves. You have to own the units. But you can have like a naked team other than being able to survive, and your Rizer is still going to cap. That's like the big problem here.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I really like what Resnut is like, or I think he's saying in the chat, because like you could also just reduce Bulwark's modifier a little, like make it a smaller nerf, make Rizer clears still powerful, just not the as powerful as they are. You know, you could make that a 3, 4, 5x modifier instead. And these clears would still be relevant, but just not blow everything out of the water. So that's also a good point. But honestly, Sinzar, like I don't think it's gonna be the solution is to make trials different, because I don't think Gumi has the manpower to do that for trials going forward. They would have to do it for every trial. I think honestly the only answer is to nerf Bulwark's counter skill. Nobody cares. Like nobody's using it except Rizer comps, and we want to nerf Rizer comps. So just go ahead.
Option.
Yeah. All right. I think this is enough ranting. I've antagonized enough people. I just can't wait to see the comments on this episode on YouTube. This is gonna suck, but hey, I really wanted to get this off my chest.
We'll see.
All right. Thank you for chilling, Sinzar, and thanks to everyone else that joined the chat to listen live. I love you all, even though I know like half the chat hates me now. I see some opponents to my ideas already in the chat, but let's see. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks, Sinzar.
Later.